Everybody, we're back for another episode. We are working on some interior stuff. So let's take a look at what we're doing.
No, you're not bringing home another piece of junk.
Okay, on our last video, we had just got the carpet laid down, and one of our viewers suggested that you put a little electric heater in there, and it would help relax the carpet. So, little electric heater, I stuck it in there, and it did a great job. So, thank you for the suggestion. So we've got her laid down in there. She's looking good. I've got the back sill plates on. I did have those. Those are in pretty decent shape. I've got these center pieces on. Now I did not have any front sill plates. So what I did is I had some 1/8 inch metal and I just cut these, and it takes 2 of those to cover this span up here. Painted them with some old silver paint I had, and this is going to work just fine because you can buy these, the front ones, like remanufactured or repop, but they're expensive. I don't want to spend the money on that. So we just did this, drilled some screws, countersunk the screws, painted them, no problem. Okay, so we went through and cleaned up all the door tops, rust proofed them. This is part of the seat frame. We got all this stuff painted. It's ready to go. And I started disassembling the rear door panels. So I took that apart, used it for a pattern, and I had some of this Luan here that we're going to use to make for the cards on the rear door panel. Now, I don't have enough of it for the front, but I do have some of this FRP fiberglass panel, which makes a pretty good door panel. I use this on the 61 if you watched. So I think between what's left of that and what's left of this, we've got enough cardstock to make some door panels. Now my vinyl is not here yet. And it's still sitting, according to the post office site, sitting in a weather delay. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get these cards cut out. I need to pick me up another can of PB Blaster, and we're gonna work on these door latches to get them all freed up and working right. One of the things I was looking at, if you was on my last video, we talked about the window fuzzies on these. So I went ahead and took them off. They were not in good a shape as I thought. The back ones are pretty good. Well, no, the back ones aren't pretty good. I mean, they're okay, but they're disintegrating rapidly. So to buy a set of these is $200, and I don't want to spend that, because you get into that where do you stop thing, you know. Okay, if I'm going to do these, well then I need to buy the window channel, because these aren't in very good shape. There's nothing left in there. That's more money. So I'm really trying to coast down the spending the money here and say, okay, looking at the theme of what we're doing here, we're not going to mess with this right now. But what I can do is, there's no fuzzy left on this. I have some, I used to build speaker cabinets. I still do every once in a while. And I've got it's a pretty heavy duty black carpeting that you glue onto speaker cabinets. And I think I can peel this off here and cut a strip of that, and maybe use some of this seam sealer and glue that on there. And probably not as good as the, as the new ones, but it'll work. And I can glue a strip onto that. So at least give me some cushion from the glass vibrating back and forth. So we're gonna do that. I got 4 of my handles polished up, and you can kind of see the difference. These are still pretty pitted and not in great shape, but they look okay. We're going to use them. All right, so what I'm going to do now is, what am I going to do now? I think I will I've got to make a pattern for the front doors. I did not have a front door panel left on this car. All I've got is this. So I think I'll trace that onto some cardboard and kind of make me a pattern. And then when I get it to fit right, then we'll cut those out. So let me work on that a little bit. I'm not going to cut these right now because I don't want to get sawdust in here. I'll cut these outside when that ice melts. I just want to get them traced on here right now. So let me get that pattern made, and then we'll take a look and see what it looks like. Okay, so I made me a cardboard template, and I kind of had to add some tape on there because it got a little crooked, but here's what I ended up with. I cut it out of this FRP, and looks pretty good. I got to do some trimming on it. I'm going to take a marker and go around the edges on the back side and trim that up a little bit, but I think that'll work. That'll make a good door panel. Now the problem is there's not enough of this left or enough of that left to make another one. And I don't really want to buy another sheet just to make one door panel. So I'm thinking maybe I got from there to there left. I'm thinking maybe I can take that piece of that and what I got left of this and take some liquid nail and glue them things together and just stick it, put some weight on it overnight and make enough of a thing to make me another door card. And I think that's what I'm going to do, because I do not want to buy another whole sheet of that, and I do not want to buy another whole sheet of that for one door panel. So I'd rather use what I got. Or I got some plexiglass over here. Yeah, that's probably not too good to make it out of. That's pretty thick. Could though. Nah, I'll just do it this way. Stuff falling all over the place. Oh, there it goes again. Okay, let me get this traced. We'll get this trimmed up. And then maybe we'll go ahead and cut that piece off there and just see if the two together will give me enough for another panel. Okay, so this is gonna work. I got enough of this and enough of this that I can do a nice glue joint overlap. And that will fit. So once that's on there, and it, you got the armrest on there, and you got it screwed down all the way around, and it's not going to go anywhere. It'll be fine, and I didn't have to buy anything. So I think I'll go ahead and to see if I got any liquid nails around here. Not sure if I do or not. I'll see if I got some. If I do, we'll glue that thing together tonight and put some weight on it and let it set up. I got some contact adhesive. I don't want to use that though. If I don't have any, I'll probably have to pick up a tube. Let's go look over here in the magic box of forgotten caulk tubes. Nope. All right, I'm gonna pick some up. All right, I guess that's gonna be it for tonight, and we'll get back on this tomorrow after work. I'll pick up some glue for this. We'll get that glued and get that cut, and maybe go ahead and get those door panels cut out. I just separated them for right now. So just get all that stuff cut, and then I wasn't gonna cut in here because of the sawdust, but what's one more mess among all the other messes? So we'll get those cut tomorrow. All right, that's gonna be it for tonight. Well, look what showed up right when I was getting ready to hang it up for the day. My replacement back glass. So let's see, did this one make it unscathed? Fingers crossed. That's bubble wrap. It's all in one piece. That's a good sign. It's like opening up a Christmas present. This one, gosh, that one's good. Right on. Okay, change of plans tomorrow. Instead of working on door panels, we're putting this in before something happens to it. So, probably not going to show that because we just did it on the other one. You saw it on the other one. But I think tomorrow I'll get this put in and get all that inside trim on there put on. And then maybe the next day we'll pick filming up again and do the work on the door panels. So, while I'm at it, let's do a little free advertising here. All right, the company I bought this from was Auto City Classics in Santee, Minnesota. I bought this online, and they quickly answered me and quickly sent me a replacement with no issues. And yeah, so good company. If you need an auto glass, look them up on eBay, or they got an email, autocity@att.net. Phone number 763-444-5880. So they have my official thumbs up of recommendation for taking care of me on this. Okay, we'll pick up the recording in a couple days. Next time you look at this, that glass will be in. Okay, so we did a little bit out here tonight. Window is in, and it's so clean it don't even look like it's there, but it's there. So all the glass is back in this thing. Very happy to see that. And on this side we've got failure is not an option. And on this side we've got believe in yourself. So we're in good shape on the stickers. Okay, I went ahead and got some liquid nail and just glued this thing together, and then just kind of lapped that over so I wouldn't have a hard line there. Screwed this thing together. We'll let that dry overnight, and then that will give me a piece big enough to make my last door panel. Kind of hokey maybe, but like I said, I don't want to buy another 4x8 sheet of that, and I don't want to buy another 4x8 sheet of that when this will work fine. So I think that's all we're going to do tonight. I'll get back out here tomorrow. So these kick plates are dry. We'll get back out here tomorrow. We'll screw those down. We'll trim up the rest of the carpet. And I think we will go ahead and cut all these door panels, get them trimmed out. Maybe sand the edges down a little bit and get them so they're ready to upholster. So I emailed the company that I bought the upholstery from, and like I said, it has been stuck in shipping for a week, and the tracking number just keeps saying weather delay. So they are going to try to track down where it's at and what the deal is. So hopefully we'll be getting that going. As soon as I get upholstery here, we're going to work on this seat. And I don't know if we're going to get that in this video or not, but I would really like to, even if I got to hold this video out a couple weeks to get this finished, to at least get part of this seat done. So the back should be easy, because we're just going to take that cover off, take a seam ripper, take it apart, and mimic that. The bottom is going to be a little more challenging since there's nothing on there, but the springs are in good shape. There's not a bunch of rust on it, so I think we're going to be okay. I've watched a couple of really good videos on making covers for a seat when you don't have a bottom cover to go off of. So that's how we're gonna try it. All right, we'll pick this back up tomorrow. Okay, so I got my homemade kick plates in there, and I think they look pretty good for homemade kick plates. I like them a lot better than $125 repop kick plates, so we're gonna go with them. So that's done. I swept up all my sawdust here. I have all my door panels cut, and my one hybrid door panel I think is gonna work fine. Once I get a little bit of foam on that and get some upholstery on that, you're not even gonna see where that thing was glued together. I checked on my upholstery today. It still lost in the post office delivery system, so they told me to file a missing package claim, and maybe that will help speed up the delivery process. But in the meantime, I think we're going to go ahead and tear this seat down. We're going to do this in two parts. The back, I think, will be easy, because we're just going to be taking a seam ripper and taking this cover apart and putting a new cover together. And then the bottom, I think I said all this in an earlier section of the video, but the bottom, I've got another YouTube video that I can't remember the guy's name, but did a superb job of showing how to cover these. And I will go back and find out that guy's name. He's got a lot of videos on there, been on there a long time. Got like an old-timey 1940s or so hot rod shop. So let's go ahead and get this up on the table and get the back of this tore apart. I don't even think I'm gonna have to like do a bunch of cleanup. There's not really much rust on this thing. So okay, let me get it up there and we'll tear it apart and see what we got. All right, so we definitely have some repairs to do down here on this seat frame. So this side, this foot isn't that bad. I think we can clean that up and get that to be okay. But this side, these things are really thin. This one might be okay. This one is crumbling, so we're gonna have to make a new piece for that. It shouldn't be a big deal. I have to get this slider to move so we can get these tracks off of here. But the frame itself and the springs are okay. You know, we're gonna have to get some rust inhibitor on there. We got lots of rodent action going on. That's what fell out of the top seat when I took it off, so it didn't look that bad up here. And you get down here and they had tunneled into there pretty good. So I'm not sure what kind of foam is in this thing. We need to get this cover off and figure that out. We're gonna start with this side, and yeah, we got some rust on there. Have to see how that goes. At least it came apart without everything being destroyed, so that was good. So let me move this part, get all this mess cleaned up, and we'll see about dismantling this part. All right, so this cover is hard as a rock, and I'm trying to get it off here without destroying it. So what I did is I took my utility knife with a fresh blade, just took the tip and went along here and snipped every stitch. So we're going to try to just kind of roll this out of here. So there was an ashtray in this thing. I don't think I'm going to go back with that. got some it's not the burlap, I forgot what you call that. We're gonna do a little bit different when we go back. Fuzzball, I thought something crawled in around in there. Alright. So, see if we can get like that jute backing, and it looks like it's sewed into this other stuff, so let's cut that. Look at the cover. So good. There. Okay, there we go. See that in one quarter, one piece. And that is our pattern to recreate what we need. Definitely some mouse tunnels in there. Now let's see. We can get this off. Ooh, spider. Big one too. Probably all kinds of creepies in here. I better grab some gloves. I think my thoughts of not having to do a bunch of rust proofing on this frame are not going to be correct. Okay, so this is hard rain down. Let's see if we can cut those. I think we can remake this with some foam. We got variety of stuff. Where's mine? Okay. This guy here. Okay, now the burlap and this little mesh of Okay, that's in pretty good shape. And these wires going across here. Now what the other guy did on this other video is he used the burlap but not the springs, but he said also what he used to do in an upholstery shop is use household carpeting to cover this and then put the foam over it. So I think that's what we're gonna do. So I just gotta get me, and we're gonna do it on the seat, so I gotta get me a couple scraps of carpeting. We're good there. All this is mouse house. I'll have to dig all that out of there. But we got some not destroyed rust, but we got some heavy rust in this corner and this corner. So we're just gonna wire wheel all that off and spray that with some rust inhibitor. And these guys too. But for the most part, I think we're in pretty good shape. And then on the back of this thing, we got this kind of cardboard backing thing. And then they've got some sewed to this piece. And just looks like cotton to lay over the back of that. I'll have to figure out how we're going to do that. Okay, I think that's as far as I'm going to go for tonight. Tomorrow night we'll get this cleaned up, get some rust proofing on here. We're going to build tag in here. What does it say? Just a patent number. American Metal Products. Has not seen the light of day since 1959, I'm pretty sure. But springs are all good. We'll get this cleaned up, freshened up tomorrow night. I'll get on the old marketplace, see if I can scan some carpet scraps somewhere. I've got some foam that I believe will work, and we can at least get that part done. Until we actually get our upholstery delivered wherever it's at right now. The last Postal Service scan was New Hampshire, so it's sitting in New Hampshire somewhere. All right, that's it for tonight. We will pick this up tomorrow. Morning, everybody. So it's actually 2 days later. Interesting story yesterday. I go to leave for work and I work like an hour from home, I have 45 minutes from home. So I always keep little 4-cylinder cars that is my work car. And I've got like a 2013 Dodge Dart. I've had it for 3 years, 170,000 miles, little 6-speed, kind of fun to drive. A little banged up, got a crunch quarter panel, but hey, it's been a good work car. Well, after the trip to Chicago a couple week ago or whatever, I guess it decided it was time to give it up because I left for work and this thing started missing real heavy and all the lights on the dash came on. So I pretty quickly figured out the head gasket went south. And so I thought, well, I'll have to deal with this later. I'm going to come home, I'm going to get the Suburban and I'm going to take it to work. So I come home to get the Suburban. Crank, 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 crank. It won't do anything. Will not fire at all. And so I'm like, okay, what do I do here? I gotta have a work car, and didn't have time to mess with it. So our local dealership had a push-pull tow minimum trade-in. went up and got a 2020 Hyundai Elantra with 40,000 miles on it. Got a pretty good deal on it, so I got to pick it up Monday. They're doing the inspection and all that on it today. But I come home and started messing with the Suburban, and I thought it had jumped time the way it acted. So I pulled the distributor out and found this thing was locked in the full advanced position, and look, that's how hard it is to turn that distributor. And the bushings on the weights are shot. I mean, look at that thing. And then the ignition module in it, somebody put a date on the back. Installed January of 1984, the year before I graduated high school. So they got their money out of that ignition module. But I had another AGI distributor around here. I had a new one I had bought for the camper and ended up not using. Put it in there, boom, fired off, and runs really nice. So I can't believe this thing was even turning. I guess the bushings are all locked up in it. But anyway, in the trash that thing goes. Okay, there's a couple of minutes of my adventure from yesterday. So let's take a look at where we are today on the seat. Okay, so what I'm going to do today, right now, is we're going to blow the rest of this fuzz off of here. And I'm just going to wire brush this down. I'm going to cut all the old hog rings off of it. And we're going to spray some rust inhibitor on this. Talk to the post office and file a loss claim on the my upholstery package, which is lost in limbo, so I'm waiting on it. But I've got the foam, I've got the carpet, so what we're going to do is I want to go ahead and clean this up, get some rust inhibitor on it. We're going to pull the back of the seat up here, strip it, fix the brackets on the bottom, rust inhibit where we need to. Got a couple little things to weld up on it to fix. And then both this side and that side, we'll go ahead and put the carpet I'm going to use on it, and then the foam I'm going to use on it, and get them both to that point. And that'll probably be it for this video, and then the next one we'll do the upholstery. But I also got my, I don't know if I said this before, my little computer chip. The computer came in with the programmer. So probably the episode after that, after we get the seat going and some door panels going, we'll look at how we're going to program this thing, and then it should be about roadworthy then. So, all right, let me clean this thing up, spray a little stuff on it, and we'll take another look at it. Okay, so this side is cleaned up. We got the rust stuff sprayed on there. I'll probably take a little semi-gloss and paint the parts that are going to show once the seat is covered. But we got the back of the seat up on, or the base of the seat, the cushion of the seat, I guess you call it, up here on the table. And this needs a lot of work. We got to get those sliders off there. I know those things are really, the nuts are rusty on them. Things like the adjusting cable is way out of whack. So there's some mechanical things to fix here before we before this one's ready to cover. So, but I just wanted to get a good shot of how this old upholstery looks, what's left of it, so I can go back and reference this. So you can kind of see how they had this band up here, and then they did this. I'm probably not going to do that because I'm not going to do all these individual pieces. This piece all the way across is going to be just one solid piece of pleated, and then we'll have the I never can remember what they call that, not the windlace, the thing, the bead. So I think I'm gonna have the bead go all the way across. Instead of having a seam here, I think I'm gonna have one seam here on the band in the middle, so kind of come this way, this way and then the top piece instead of doing this. So anyway, I just wanted to get a good look at this, see how this is all. Yeah, that's all attached with hog rings down there. Okay, we have documented. Let me get this tore apart and we'll see what we got. All right, just want to get a shot in here. You can kind of see where the old foam, they brought it along this brace here and then they folded it over and hog ringed it to the springs. I can see how that seam kind of went there. So I'm going to save all this stuff, kind of document where the hog rings were. And just how this went. This little piece of bead went here, and then they had another one up here, and they're hog ringed there, and then they folded under here. And there's the brackets here were the those pieces that wrap around the seat. So I just want to be able to go back and look at this video and say, okay, this is where everything was. All right, that should do that. Okay, so we got the seat tore down. Now I got both the sliders off, and this one is in pretty good shape. We knocked the rust off it, and it's solid. We can just paint that up and use it again. And the slider portion slides good. This one, the slider portion works good. This back foot, I think, is going to be okay. I mean, it's got some rust and some pitting on it, but we can, you know, paint that up and deal with that. This one, we're going to have to weld a new piece on there. So I need to, yeah, there's just not much left there at all. Okay, so I need to find me a piece of scrap, just bend a little piece of angle, and we'll make that. So let me do that and we'll take a look at it. Okay, that was a lot of work. We got her all cleaned up. We got her wire brushed off. This chunk of what was left of this foot, we just made a new piece and welded that on there, so that's good. These are freed up and working nice. So I'm going to spray some rust inhibitor on this side, let it dry, hit the other side, probably put a little gloss, semi-gloss on it, and then I'm thinking tomorrow, it really doesn't matter which piece I do first because I've got both of them sitting here, so maybe tomorrow we'll start putting the foam on it. We'll put the carpet on there first that we're going to use, and then we'll hog ring the foam on there and look and kind of check out how we do that part, and then we'll go ahead and do that part, get both of those done, try to set them off the side, keep them clean. Maybe I'll throw some plastic over them or something until we get some upholstery here. So at least we're getting this part done. I just wish all my stuff was here. So we'll take a look back in a few. Okay, I have not touched anything out here work-wise for about 4 days. What I have been doing is cleaning. So I took the wagon, I pulled it over there, we got it on that side of the garage, and I mean, I went to town. I even got up in my loft up there with an air gun. It looked like it snowed up there. There was at least a 1/4 inch of dust everywhere up there. I blew everything off, vacuumed the entire shop, got down on my hands and knees, vacuumed under everything, vacuumed off the walls, and took out at least 4 things of trash. So it needed it bad. I couldn't stand working it anymore. So next thing we're going to do here is I still have not got my vinyl 4 days later since I last put a clip on this video. So I sent a thing to the eBay, to the place I bought it from, and said just cancel the order, and I reordered it off of Amazon, and hopefully it'll be here in a couple of days. So what we're gonna do, you saw we got the tracks done and ready to go. We're gonna start putting some foam on here. Now I don't, in the video that I had, and I gotta look up that guy's name again, because he does a great job on upholstery work. He put burlap over this, and then he put carpet underlayment or jute over that, and then put the 1-inch dense upholstery foam over that. I don't have any burlap, I don't have any jute, but I've got some other stuff that I think will work just fine. In fact, he was saying the burlap really is unnecessary with the new, with the new types of foam, you don't really need it. So let me go inside and get some of the stuff I got and get my hog ring pliers, and we'll at least get the base of these done. We'll get the stuff I'm going to put on here, we'll get the foam on here, we'll get that done on both of them, and hopefully that'll probably be the end of the video doing that. And then next video, hopefully we're putting covers on this thing, because I am ready to drive this thing. We're not that far off. I get a front seat in this thing. I get the chip programmed for it. I think I might need to re-bleed the brakes one more time, wrap these wires, and it's ready to roll. I mean, I probably need to build a, whatchamacallit, a shroud for the fan, but I do that stuff, and we can take this thing out on the road and see how it's going to do. I think it's going to do great. It really felt nice just pulling it over into here. So let me go get my stuff, and we'll see what we're going to do here. Okay, so the name of the YouTube site, YouTube page is LG Customs. LGK Customs with a K, all one word. I can't remember that dude's word, but that dude's name, but he does a lot of 40s, 50s type cars, and very, very good videos, explains things really well. Excellent channel. If you haven't checked it out, go and check it out. And so he has 2 videos I've kind of digested on how to do this, and so this is what we're going to do. So I don't have burlap. Burlap is usually what they do for a first cover on here, but I do have this. And what this is, I can't remember the actual name for it, but it's for speaker cabinets. I worked for a guy that taught me how to build and cover speaker cabinets. My buddy Joe, who also taught me how to play guitar. And we used to use a lot of this stuff, and it's good and tough. So we're going to use this in place of the burlap. So I'm going to use 1 layer of this, and we're going to hog ring that on there. Then the guy, what he used after that was a 1/2-inch jute, which I don't have, but I do have this. And this was some cushion vinyl left over from the 48 Plymouth project I did. So we are going to cut some of this. It's nice and got a nice cushion to it. Or not exactly a 1/2 inch, but good enough. And then we are going to hog ring this on there. And then once we do that, I'm going to go in the house and get the foam, and we will actually glue the foam to this, and then trim around it, and then that will be our base for that we put the seat cover over. So let me go ahead and do that. For those of you who don't know what a hog ring is, I imagine most people watching this do. It's just those little wire clippy things. And I'm not going to like trim this and then hog ring it. So I'm just going to kind of leave it loose like this, like it is, and hog ring it. You take your hog ring pliers like this, and you put it in there like that. I guess you can see that. And I'm going to find the wire here, and I'm just going to clip that in there, and that holds good. And we're gonna go all the way around, hog ring that, and then I'll trim it off a little bit. That's some I have left from another job. You can buy a whole kit of different size hog rings and the hog ring pliers on Amazon. I think I gave $12 for that or something like that. So let me go ahead and hog ring this on, and then we'll come back for a second and we'll see how we're going to hog ring the vinyl on, and then we'll get the foam and see what that looks like. Okay, so we have got this on here. You know, we got the other carpet underneath there. We've got it all hog ringed around there. I went ahead and trimmed it off. Now, there's the back of the seat. I don't have enough of this to do the back of the seat. So I think what I'm going to do there is maybe do like 2, maybe 3, you know, a double or maybe triple layer of that carpet, and then put the foam on top of it, because you know, with a backrest you really don't have weight on it like you do the cushion of the seat. So here's our foam, and got this off of Amazon. This is a 1-inch dense upholstery foam. And so let's take a look at what we're going to do here on this stuff. Okay, so what we want to do is take the cushion and we want to plop it right here. Well, it's almost not wide enough, but we're going to make it work. It needs to fold around, and we want, you said you want 4 fingers, which is just about what I got. Now we're not going to have as much in the back of the seat, but then the backrest will be on that. We won't get down into that part, if that makes sense. It'll make sense later when we take a look at it. So this is good. What I want to do is take a marker and trace that. Now he said on there you want to be careful about using a marker because it may eventually bleed through the upholstery, which I don't see that happening on this, because I'm using dark blue upholstery material, and I had to, so we're doing 4 fingers. I had to cancel the first order for my foam. Good here. And reorder it from a different company off of Amazon. Which is okay, because I got something a little bit different. Instead of getting long pleats like on this, they had some diamond pleated stuff, which I thought was kind of cool looking. So I got some diamond pleated stuff, and I got some straight pleated stuff. And I think that's going to look pretty cool together. Okay. Trace that, and then go ahead and trim this off. And it pretty much just takes a whole sheet of this foam to do one part of the seat, so I got 2 of them. It was only like $20 for a roll of this stuff. It's 24 by 84, I think. And it is just about the right size. Okay, so we're trimmed there. Now I want to trace out the seat on here, because we are going to lift this up and we're going to put some glue on it, and then I want to plop it back down in the same place. Alright, so I'm going to set the seat over here. Glue on both sides, and then we'll plop it back down on there. Now there's a couple different kinds of glue you can use. This stuff is really good. that Weldwood contact adhesive for landau top and trim. This stuff is really good. I don't have a gun for it right now. So I bought a couple of cans of this, and this is the 3M90, which is their higher strength adhesive. This stuff is really good too. So what we're going to do, turn my heater down, it's kind of warm in there. We're not going to put glue on this outside edge yet. We're just going to, and I don't want to pound it on there and like soak it through the foam, because then it will, you'll get parts that won't dry good and may not stick. So we're just going to kind of do circles. I already checked on my vinyl from Amazon. It shipped this morning, so it should be here in a couple days. So next video, we'll be sewing up some seat covers. Okay, gonna do that. I'm gonna let that dry 5 minutes. Then I'm gonna put another coat on it, and then we'll stick them together. So I will be back when we're ready to stick them together. Well, darn it, I lost a clip. I just laid this down, glued it together, stuck it together. It sticks real good. So what we're gonna do is, I'm not gonna roll this yet, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna glue that edge, and then we're gonna roll this down here, and we're gonna hog ring that, and then we will make our pattern for the bottom of the seat. But I don't want to do that yet, because hog rings through foam can be a little sketchy and they can pull through. So I want to wait till I have my vinyl here and kind of get an idea of what I'm doing. I don't want to hog ring that and leave it sit for a week or however long it's going to take. So we glued that on there, and that's off to the side. This part is done. I think that's going to be a nice comfortable seat once we get a cover on there. Now the back of the seat is a little bit different. If you remember, on the back of the seat, it kind of had, so this is the front of the backrest and this is the back. It kind of had like a fiberboard thing in there, and then it had a piece of cotton sewed to it that folded up over here that kind of gave you your contour. So we're not going to do that. I've got more of this carpet, this speaker cabinet carpet. This is actually a heavier duty than that other stuff I used on that. I don't have enough of this stuff to do the backrest the same way, but that's okay, because you don't put as much weight on the backrest as you do the cushion. I think this is going to be fine. So I've got this doubled over, and there is just enough of it that we can hog ring that on there and make that look pretty good. So we're going to do that, and then I'm going to go in the house and get the foam, and we will then glue the foam to it the same way we do that, and then that's where we're gonna stop. So let me get this hog ringed on here, and then we'll take a look at what it looks like. Okay, so we got our carpet on here, and that worked out really nice. Some of this stuff is good and stout, and I think that's gonna make for a pretty comfortable seat once we put the foam on top of that. This side came out real good. Passenger side, it's like, might cut a little short. But you know, once we stuff that in there and get the cover on it, I think it's going to be fine. And it'll be on the other side of the car, so I won't see it. So, okay, so got another layer of foam out here, and we did a little trimming on it. Let's kind of do what we did before. Actually, I think this foam, the width is just about perfect to where we can roll it over. And I want my 4 fingers of roll over there. Come this way a little bit. So let me put a, and then we will roll that over like that. Put a mark here where we want to be. We'll roll this back like this, and we'll glue that. So I'm hoping this comes out nice. I've covered 3 seats in my hot rodding career, and the first one was pretty bad. The second one was, okay. So hopefully this one will be even better, even though it's been 10 years since I did one. So, all right, let me glue and stick, and we'll come back and take a look at what we got. Okay, so we are glued down on here, and we have got just enough. We'll be able to fold over at the bottom. We'll be able to fold over on the sides, and a little bit that we're going to fold over on the top, and may do a little trimming once we get the seat cover sewn up. But we're going to let that sit for tonight. All right, so that is going to be it for this video. Sorry it took 2 weeks to get one out, but you know, I had to do a major cleanup out here. It was in bad shape. And just getting parts and, you know, things getting lost in the mail and all that crazy stuff. So as far as the message this week, so I've been talking about how I am doing my Read Through the Bible in a Year course and really enjoying that. Doing that on the on an app that I can't remember the name of the app right now, but it's a very good one. And so what I've been reading this week, particularly this morning, I guess for about the last 3 days, is Exodus. And we are at the part where God goes to Moses and tells him to go to Pharaoh and tells him that he wants him to release the Israelites. And Moses is resistant, and Aaron ends up going with him. And so the part that has always interested me about this part of Exodus is where it says that God hardened Pharaoh's heart. And there's several plagues in there, and and if you read it carefully, in one plague it'll said Pharaoh's heart was hardened. In another plague it will say Pharaoh hardened his heart against God. So it's not every plague where they say God hardened Pharaoh's heart, but it does say that in some, and that's always kind of been something I've thought about why would God, or why did God intentionally harden Pharaoh's heart? It almost seemed like, well, was God like using Pharaoh for, did this man maybe have a chance at salvation, and God was kind of playing against him? You know what I'm saying? But thinking about it and reading about it, here's what my take on it. We already know Pharaoh was a pretty evil guy. I mean, he had ordered all the Hebrew boys killed. During the time Moses wanted the Israelites let go, Pharaoh kind of threw a fit and said, oh, well, you're lazy and you don't have enough work to do. We'll just take the straw away from your bricks and make you work harder and make you keep the same quota of bricks. So over and over we see that I don't see where there was a whole lot of redeeming qualities about Pharaoh, that he had a chance for salvation. So my thoughts on it were, in the cases where God actually hardened Pharaoh's heart, it was already to the point where there wasn't a chance for Pharaoh at salvation. I've always kind of thought the same thing about Judas. did God use Judas for that purpose and deny him salvation? And I don't believe that. I believe that God, in his infinite foresight, knew Judas in his heart and knew what he would do. And maybe he used him for that purpose, but used him knowing that that was the path he was going to take anyway. So interesting point. I hope you like that. And that's just my 2 cents on it. If you have other thoughts on that, about why did God harden Pharaoh's heart, and thoughts about how that all played out, put them down in the comments. I'm interested to hear what you might have to say about that. Nothing nasty from you non-believers out there, and be respectful. I am respectful to you, so please be respectful of me in the comments. So let's have a quick word of prayer and we'll be out of here. Father, I just thank you for today. I thank you for the opportunity to preach your word on these channels, on this channel, when we do these videos. And I just I trust that even though I am not the most well-spoken person, that your message will get out to the people you want it to get out to. Just like with Moses, he said he was not very well-spoken, and but God used him anyway. And I just submit myself for the same kind of deal, that you would use this channel and use what we talk about of your word to touch the people out there that need it. And we just ask this in the precious name of your son, Jesus. Amen. All right, hit like, hit subscribe, smash that subscribe button, smash it, smash it. And next video, hopefully, maybe we're going to be sewing up seat covers for this, depending on how fast this stuff gets here. I've got another project coming out. My buddy Bruce, we're going to do a quick engine swap on his car, and we'll make a video of that. I think that'll be pretty interesting. And once the wagon is on the road, which is not very far off, we're going to be starting on this El Camino I've been talking about, and I can't wait to get into that and show you that project. So I'll catch you on the next one.